Processed meat, Bobby, is a scary thing. And that's not to mention what else they put in it to preserve it. They actually put a color fixer chemical in the processed meat to turn it red so that you'll buy it.
So it's not just naturally red because
No.
it came from the inside of a cow. They're putting colored dye and...
It's not dye. It's a chemical that is a preservative and a color fixer, and it turns the meat red. Otherwise, the meat would look putrid gray.
Americans want quick, cheap, convenient food. And if you look at the ingredient list on something like this, it's actually kind of scary. It starts off with high fructose corn syrup. And then the bologna is made from mechanically separated chicken and pork and corn syrup and modified food starch.
So chicken, pork, and syrup.
Yum.
I'm hungry too, Dave. Let's grab a burger.
If you go buy a piece of processed meat, like sandwich meat, for example, at the grocery store, it may have been on that shelf for 3 or 4 weeks. It should be gray. People wouldn't buy it. They'd be sickened by it. So they use a chemical called sodium nitrite or sodium nitrate. This chemical, the USDA tried to ban this chemical in the 1970s. They were unsuccessful because of food industry lobbyists. It's still legal, and by the way, it causes cancer. It is such a powerful carcinogenic chemical that it belongs to a class of chemicals called nitrosamines that lab researchers actually inject into mice when they want to give them cancer so they can study the cancer.
What's the name of this?
Sodium nitrite or sodium nitrate. It's listed right on the label, Bobby.
So we can look at lunch meat and we can tell if it's on there or not.
Yeah, so they're eating cancer because it makes the meat look pretty.
You know, when we think about the danger, the food safety danger, because of, you know, if one sick animal gets processed and that meat gets mixed around, that muscle or fat gets mixed around, it can really cause a problem with the whole food system.
If they're putting antibiotics, if they're putting hormones in these sick cows to make them better, what is that going to do to me?